Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where these two methods aren't working, and I'm not entirely sure why yet. We do need to do a little bit of debugging and find out. So we'll go ahead and add in a bool debug equals false right here, and then in our building hex here, we will go ahead and make this be true. So we will do the debug true. And then, let me just turn up that volume slightly. This particular track is pretty quiet. Let's try this one. There we go. Okay, so we aren't currently debugging anything. However, what we can do is we can just pass in debug here. For now, just to ensure that we're getting the correct biome hex. So let's go ahead and run this after it compiles. It will just ensure that we're getting the correct hex, and if we are, then we know that there's something wrong with our offset. If we aren't, then we know that there's something wrong with our get hex method. So the get world hex position, or yeah, we just get biome hex by index is what we would know is wrong, but that shouldn't be wrong. This should return the correct value. So let's go ahead and head up here. I guess we'll hop in here. We'll go ahead and purchase hex number 50. Okay, and then we'll create a route right there. 34. Fascinating. Okay. Let's take a quick look at what's going on here. So, hex number 50 should be in our building hexes. Hex number 50. That is the correct hex there. Hex index is 50. Okay. So, get biome hex by index, hex world hex, hex biome hex. We're passing in an int3. So let's just double check our get biome hex by index, which is right here. Return get world hex by index, world hex index, which we know works correctly. .subhex manager .subhexes biome hex index. So I'm gonna guess it's something wrong with the building hex? I just accidentally closed something. We'll have to open it up later probably. So when we are in create route mode, we pass in hex ID. Okay. Which is manager.selected world hex.hex index, manager.selected subhex.hex index, and hex index. Should be correct. So how is this returning 34? Where are we getting 34? Where is hex 34? Hex 34 is way down there. Okay. And I'm assuming that's where the origination point spawned? No. The origination point spawned way up there. That's exciting stuff. Because it returned map hex 17 here. We're in biome hex, right? Yeah, biome hex 34. That's correct. Okay, so that is correct. So the question then is, why is... If the biome hex is correct, why is the position so wrong? So we could debug.log, then position plus offset, and see what's going on there. We've now verified that it is getting the correct biome hex. And there's absolutely no reason it should have the wrong building hex. so for right now, let's just debug the position plus offset, which of course should be the same exact position as where it spawns it. And we don't need to pause this, but let's go ahead and run it. Because this very much should not be a problem. But yet it clearly is. So, I'm not quite sure. I expect this to be correct-ish. This should get us the offset. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and skip the tutorial, and we're gonna come on up here. We'll go into this biome hex, should be fine. We'll buy this hex, this field hex number 3. We'll go ahead and spawn that in. 25.5, 1.2, 40.0. Okay. So this is the one we own. And that is located... This is the local location. So that is locally located here. We do want the global, which I don't think... Yeah, that just changes the handle. It doesn't change the transform here. Yeah, that's not a thing. Okay, so where is it? Once again, it's on the opposite side over here. And yeah, as expected, it places it exactly where it's supposed to. Inside of this map hex, which in this case is hex index 37. We know it's outputting the correct hex index though, hex index 21. This should be element 0. Yeah, so these should all be in correct order. So the hex in question is what, this one? No, this one. Okay, let's bring this out here so that we can see the global position of it. 25.51, 1.26, 41.4. So it's definitely coming up with the wrong position. So it's certainly a problem with the offset. Okay. We have the correct world hex position. We checked that already. So, I mean, the easy solution would be to move the biome hexes and the building hexes to assume that this is the selected hex. That would work, but it's not what we're going for here. I don't want to do that because I don't want to assume that, and I don't want to move them necessarily, because that might break things. I don't think it would break things, but it might it might incur a big performance hit if we're doing this very frequently. And I prefer to keep this very cheap. So we take the biome hex manager .transform.position minus the get biome hex by index .transform.position. So we get the offset of these two positions, right? Am I for some reason thinking about this completely wrong? Let's find out. I might be. Okay, so we find source minus target. Yeah. I'm doing this exactly the way I'm supposed to. That's what I thought. Okay. So, there's clearly something wrong here. And what is it that is wrong? Biome hex manager.transform.position. Okay. So biome hex manager is 000. Yeah. So it is centered, as I thought. And we should be able to take these positions and subtract it to find the offset. So why can't we? I'm actually a little bit stumped here. Manager.transform.position minus get biome hex by index hex.world hex hex.biome hex.transform.position. We are getting the correct biome hex, we verified that. It is this that's wrong, because we verified that this is correct a couple episodes ago. So this line is wrong, and why? Why indeed? I mean, it should be... like, the biome hex manager position, when we open up when we select the world hex, let's go into the world hex. When we select it, which should be somewhere down in here-ish, subhex manager.gameObject.setActiveFalse, so this is zooming out. Zooming in, we set it to true. We set the selected world hex, we populate the biomes, we set the position to be the world hex position. So yeah, we don't offset it at all here. So that's as expected. So the biome hex manager.transform.position should actually be the world hex position, if that's the hex we have selected. Which is why we do it this way. Biome hex manager.transform.position minus blah 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 blah. Do we need to subtract the offset? Is it as dumb as that? Maybe it is. Maybe we just have the wrong sign. I'm grasping at straws here, but let's find out. Because this should spawn, right now, in the center of the biome hex. Not in the center of the building hex yet, but in the center of the biome hex. Theoretically, anyway. But let's find out if that is indeed what happens here. Go ahead and skip the tutorial, blah blah blah, in we go. Land management, buy land, we'll buy this apartment complex, sure, why not. We'll create a route there. Bam. Hey, that's it. I was adding and I needed to be subtracting. As stupid as that. Wow. I am an idiot. Okay, let's get rid of the debug. Then we no longer need that. Okay. Now that's going to throw an error in here, because we don't need to pass in the debug anymore. Okay, so then the offset here should be the same thing, but we're still going to do position minus offset for the building hex position. And we'll just see if that works. One thing we may want to consider doing is making the origination point mesh in some way transparent. We'll think about doing that here in a moment, after I verify that this works. Okay, let's go. Is it just me, or is this generation taking substantially longer? Wonder why that would be. Is it the editor memory leak, maybe? Oh, it only took like 5 seconds longer. That's not that substantial. Okay, so let's hop on in here, grab ourselves a piece of land. We'll grab this apartment complex, confirm, and we will go ahead and create a route. Bam. Perfect. And... oh, okay. Just garbage collection, looks like. We'll deal with that later. But for right now, this finally seems to be working. So I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here, and next episode, we will continue implementing our routes. See you all then.